he's distant. He pulls away right when you feel you're getting closer. He says one thing, but his actions seem to scream the exact opposite, leaving you feeling heartbroken and wondering, does he feel this at all? You're caught in a spiral of confusion, going over every text, every silence, and every small moment of connection, trying to solve a puzzle that feels impossible. The connection you feel is so powerful, so real, that his apparent indifference feels like some kind of cosmic prank. But what if I told you that his confusing, hot and cold behavior isn't a sign he's rejecting you? What if, within the twin flame spiritual belief system, it's actually one of the biggest signs that he is completely overwhelmed by the power of your connection? Now, before we get into it, it's really important to be clear about what we're discussing. The twin flame journey is a spiritual belief. It's a way of seeing the world that has helped countless people make sense of intense connections on their path to self-discovery. The ideas we're exploring, like the divine masculine and feminine, are spiritual concepts. They aren't based in clinical psychology or science, which use a different kind of evidence. Think of this as a spiritual map for navigating a connection that often goes beyond logic. It's one way of understanding, and for those who resonate with it, this map can bring a lot of peace to the chaos. Today, we're going to explore the 5 signs that, according to this belief system, your divine masculine is truly feeling this soul connection, even if what he's showing you in the real world tells a different story. Understanding these signs can bring you clarity and empower you on your own path of healing, whether it leads to reunion or simply to a more profound love for yourself. The retreat, running because it's all too much, the first. And let's be honest, most painful sign that he's feeling the connection is when he suddenly pulls away. This is the classic runner dynamic that so many people talk about, and it is incredibly confusing. One minute, you're sharing something deep, a conversation that feels like coming home. The next, he's gone. He's emotionally distant, physically gone, or putting up walls so high you can't see a way over them from your side. It feels like a sharp, personal rejection. It's devastating. You start to question everything. Was it real? Did I make it all up? Does he even care? But in the twin flame framework, his retreat isn't about a lack of feeling. It's the result of feeling too much, too soon. Think about it. Many men are raised to be logical, to stay in control, and to push down overwhelming emotions. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness. Now, imagine someone who has spent his life building a fortress around his heart, suddenly hit with a tidal wave of emotion he can't control or even name. The twin flame connection doesn't just knock on the door. It tears the whole fortress down. The feelings pouring through him, this deep love, this intense vulnerability, a soul recognition that makes no logical sense, are terrifying because they threaten his whole sense of who he is. He's feeling that same powerful pull that you are, but he might not have the spiritual language or emotional tools to understand it. It's like a spiritual fight-or-flight response, and his instinct is to run. Not from you, but from the overwhelming power of what you represent, the other half of his soul. This retreat is his mind's way of hitting the emergency brake to try to find solid ground again. He's not running because he feels nothing. He's running because he feels everything. And it's a scary, disorienting experience. The very intensity that you might find beautiful, he experiences as a total loss of control. So, as painful as it is, his retreat is a sign. The silence and the distance are a measure of just how big his feelings are. The mask of indifference. hiding a war within. The second sign often follows the first, and this one can break your heart. The mask of indifference. He might act like he's moved on, pretend the connection meant nothing, or even say things that are dismissive and hurtful. This is the hot and cold cycle that can leave you feeling emotionally exhausted and wondering if you're the crazy one. Here's the spiritual interpretation. His pain is just as real as yours. It just looks different on the outside. While the divine feminine energy is often expressed by processing pain outwardly through talking, emotion, and seeking to understand, wounded masculine energy often turns inward, leading to suppression and denial. What you're seeing on the surface is not what's happening in his soul. This mask of indifference is a shield. The connection has cracked him wide open, and the raw vulnerability he feels is too much for his ego to handle. The ego's job is to protect him, so it starts telling him stories. This is too intense. You're going to get hurt, or this isn't real, just walk away. So he puts on a show of not caring, hoping that if he can convince you, he can also convince himself. He might bury himself in work, jump into a shallow new relationship, or pick up distracting habits. Anything to quiet the roar of the soul connection inside. It's crucial to see that this isn't really about you. It's about his own inner war. His soul, which recognizes you, is at war with his ego, which is terrified of the surrender that true love demands. Often, the things he does that seem cruel are just a reflection of his own inner chaos. He's hurting, and because he doesn't know what to do with that pain, he projects it outward. It's a misguided attempt to feel in control when he feels completely powerless. At his core, a true twin flame doesn't want to hurt you. His actions are symptoms of his own deep confusion. When you can see the scared soul hiding behind the mask, you start to understand. His apparent lack of caring isn't a sign that the connection is weak. It's a sign of how desperately he's struggling with its strength. The mirror. His confusion is showing you there's something about yourself. The third sign is maybe the most empowering one for you to grasp. It's the phenomenon known as the mirror. In the twin flame belief system, it's said that twin flames are one soul in two bodies, constantly mirroring each other's inner state. His confusing behavior, his running, his resistance, it's often believed to be a direct reflection of an unhealed part of you that's coming up to be seen and healed. This shifts the focus from, why is he doing this to me? To, what is his behavior trying to show me about myself? For example, if he's running from the connection, the mirror might ask you to look at where you are running from yourself, from your own power, or from giving yourself unconditional love. If he feels unworthy of you, the belief is that he is mirroring back the parts of yourself that you've decided are unworthy of love. His inability to commit might reflect your own shaky commitment to your healing or your own purpose. This is not about blame. It's not your fault he's running. Instead, it's seen as a sacred part of the journey. The soul agreement between twin flames is believed to be about rapid spiritual growth. He is your catalyst, and you are his. His actions trigger your deepest wounds, like abandonment or rejection, not to hurt you, but so you can finally heal them for good. And as you do this inner work, something amazing starts to happen. As you stop running from your own shadows and learn to love yourself fully, he feels it on an energetic level. As you heal your own feelings of unworthiness, he starts to feel more worthy of the connection. As you step into your power and purpose, he's energetically encouraged to do the same. The core idea here is, As you heal, he heals, because you're both healing the connection itself. His confusion is like a road map, pointing you straight to the parts of your own soul that are ready to come home, the weight of unworthiness. His guilt is a sign of his love. The fourth sign is one of the most hidden, but also one of the most profound. His deep-seated feelings of unworthiness and guilt. This seems backward, right? How can guilt be a sign that he feels the connection? Because these feelings don't come from indifference. They come from a place of knowing that he's failing something important. On a soul level, the divine masculine often feels the purity of the connection. He recognizes you as his other half. And in the light of what he feels is perfect, all of his own flaws get magnified. Every past mistake, every fear he has about not being good enough, comes roaring to the surface. He looks at you, sees home, and then immediately believes he isn't good enough to walk through the door. This is often why he runs. It's not just from the intensity, but from a deep sense of shame. He's afraid of messing things up, of hurting you, of failing you. In his mind, pulling away is a twisted act of love. He thinks he's protecting you from his own darkness. He might even say something like, "I don't deserve you," and it's one of the most honest things he can say from that wounded place. He believes that by staying away, he is saving you from his own mess. This guilt can become a heavy weight, especially when he sees the pain his absence causes. He sees your light and feels like he only brings shadows. This creates a painful cycle. He loves you, which makes him feel unworthy. He feels unworthy, so he pulls away. Pulling away causes you pain, and he feels guilty for that, which just proves his belief that he's not good enough. It's a prison he builds for himself. This inner struggle, this battle with his own shadow, shows just how much the connection means to him. He wouldn't feel this kind of guilt if he didn't care. The pain he feels over his own behavior is a direct sign of the love in his heart. A love he feels he hasn't yet learned how to honor. The subtle shifts, small actions that speak volumes after the storms of withdrawal and inner conflict. The fifth and final sign is the most hopeful one. You start to see small but real shifts in his behavior. These are the glimmers that show he is ready to move toward the connection instead of away from it. This is his spiritual awakening starting to show up in the real world. This isn't usually a big dramatic reunion. It's about the small, consistent changes. First, you might notice he starts taking the lead. He reaches out on his own, without being chased. It might just be a simple text or a call. But the point is, he's now moving towards you, driven by his own choice. This shows he's shifting from running to choosing. Second, his communication starts to change. It becomes a little more open, a little more vulnerable. He might not be great at it, but he starts to let the walls down. Maybe he admits he was wrong, apologizes for past behavior, or shares some of his fears. This is a huge step. He's choosing to be real instead of protecting his ego. Third, you'll notice his life starts to align with a possible future together. He might start making positive changes, like leaving a situation that wasn't good for him, focusing on his own healing, or setting new goals. This is a sign that he's no longer just trying to survive the connection. He's actively getting ready to be a healthy partner within it. Finally, his energy just feels different. It's calmer, steadier. You're no longer on an emotional roller coaster. The silence between you feels peaceful, not like a punishment. He shows he cares through protective and giving actions, proving his love is becoming something he does, not just something he feels. These are signs that he has faced some of his demons and is finally ready not just to feel the connection, but to courageously build a life around it. So, the journey with your divine masculine is rarely a straight line. It's a dance of energy, healing, and growth. The confusing behaviors that cause so much pain, the pulling away, the indifference, the conflict, are not always the end of the story. Within the twin flame belief system, they are often seen as powerful signs of just how deeply he feels this connection. His retreat is a reaction to intense feelings. His mask of indifference hides a deep inner struggle. His confusing actions can be a mirror, showing you where you can grow. His shame is a testament to a love he feels he isn't ready for. And finally, his small, conscious actions toward you are the proof of his awakening. This path asks for a lot of patience, but most of all, it asks for you to focus on your own growth. You can't do his work for him, but by healing yourself, you light up the path for both of you. Trust the process, even when it's confusing. His silence doesn't always mean he doesn't love you, and his distance doesn't mean the connection is gone. Often, it's in the middle of that confusion that the deepest transformation is happening. He is not lost. He is on his way to becoming. I would love to hear from you, because this journey can feel lonely. Drop a comment below and share which of these signs you've seen in your own life. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read today to keep faith in their own path. And if this brought you some clarity, please give it a like and subscribe for more guidance on your journey. Thank you for being here with me today. Trust your path,